Hi, I'm Dan Weedin. Welcome to today's broadcast of Weedin Unleashed. As you see, I've got my partner in crime, Captain Jack, back here. He's up and about. Usually he's sleeping, but something outside got him all agitated. And in fact, it'll be a great metaphor for what we're talking about today. But before I dig into that, I want to thank you again for being here, for joining me, for those of you who are here live. If you're watching this later on my YouTube channel, thank you for doing that as well. I'm appreciative of you giving me your time in an effort to help make you better, or help to improve you in some form or fashion, whether it's for business or personal or whatever it is. Thank you for being here. We are here each and every Monday at noon Pacific time. And as you see, Captain Jack settling in, and I hope you are going to do just the same. So let's go ahead and get started. My strategies, comments, topics, concepts I talk about here are all usually based on whatever it is I wrote over the weekend for the Monday morning extra points. If you're not getting extra points, you can text to 22828. That's 22828. Extra points, all caps, no space, and you'll be subscribed. Or you can email me, dan@danweedin.com. Today's extra points I really liked, and it came out of something that happened last week, and I think it's happening right now with Captain Jack behind me, but I think it's a very important one. And it's a lesson that for many of you out there is a really hard one to wrap your head around. And I know it because there have been times in my life where perfectionism has gotten in the way of progress. It's gotten in the way of success. And if that's happening to you in your life, in your business, in your career, then this is going to be a good 15 minutes or so spent with me. And hopefully we'll be able to help you through that. So what happened last week, my colleague, Betsy Jordan, and I have been working on a joint program. There goes Captain Jack. We've been working on a joint program for consultants, for coaches, for entrepreneurs, called Betsy and Dan Sound Off. It's set up as a debate, discussion on topics around branding. Excuse me, hey, can you just lay down right here, please? We've got people trying to watch here. Just lay down, okay? Can you do that? Lay down. We'll see if this works, huh? Just lay down. You do that for me? There we go. Sorry about that. We'll see if we can get them now settled. So Betsy and I are doing this program, and we've been working on it. We've got 30 people signed up to watch it. It's a live broadcast just like this. Well, we'd already practiced it once, right? We did all the technology, it all worked. Well, without going into a long story about what didn't happen from a technology standpoint, the first thing was Betsy and I were on together, but nobody else could see or hear us. They could see me on the chat, but that was it. They couldn't hear or see me. And it was a mistake I made, one that I'm not going to make again. It was a technology error I made. I realized what had happened. So I told everybody I'm logging out and I'm going to come back in, and hopefully that'll fix it. It did fix it for everybody, but for Betsy. So all of a sudden, everybody could see and hear me, but Betsy wasn't on screen. And so I'm having a conversation with her on my cell phone while everybody's watching and really being patient. It was great. And long story short is we finally got Betsy back on, and we started somewhere around 10 or 12 minutes late. And then we had a great session. So here's the deal. It was by far not perfect, but it was successful. The people who hung in with us got some really great value. They told us so later. The people who are doing what some of you might be doing and watching later, they don't even know what happened because I cut that all out. But the reality is that there were some mistakes in it. There were some errors. Look, I don't know how many people would be doing what I'm doing and happy that the dog is kind of dinking around in the back. It's usually pretty quiet, and looks like he'll be now, but it's not perfect. But the problem is that we become so obsessed with perfect that it keeps us from even trying. I'm going to say that again because I really believe it's important. We become so obsessed with perfect that we stop even trying because of fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of somebody saying that wasn't good. Fear. It stops us cold, and it really it will railroad and obstruct what you're trying to do in your career, in your business, and in your life. The biggest thing that I think that you can take away, and it's what I really enjoyed about today's extra points, was this is all about success and significance. It is not about perfection. I talk and coach and consult and even have people in my family who really want things to be perfect. And it's not going to happen. It's way too much pressure. I'm talking to you if you're the perfectionist, so this is a collective you. You're putting too much pressure on yourself to literally hit the curveball. Because nothing that we're going to do is ever going to be perfect. What we are seeking out is success and significance. If I have to apologize to everybody for holding them up for about 10 minutes while we got things going, okay, I'll apologize and know that I did my best, and that is good enough. If I have to apologize to you because you got to watch Captain Jack Doolittle digging and moving around, I'll say I'm sorry, doing the best I can, and that's good enough. The best you can should be good enough. Because you can't do any better. You do the best you can with the information that you have at any time, and you go with it and you deal with it. Just this last weekend, the NFL held its annual meat market where they draft players. They're going to draft, each NFL team will draft somewhere between 6 and 10 players that they'll bring on and hope will make the team. Now, the draft, for all of the work and effort that people put into it, they know that not every one of those players is going to make the team. They know that they'll have made some mistakes. But the reality is you do the best you can with the information you have and you move on. So what's holding you up in your career? What is holding you up from moving forward and being bold and expressing your value to others that can use it? What's holding you up? Is there a fear of not being perfect? Examples, websites. I've talked to many a client talk about, hey, you need to restructure. You need to upgrade your website. Oh, I'm working on it. When it's perfect, it's going to be up. Memo, it's not going to be perfect. Are you writing your articles? Are you writing your columns if you're a columnist or a consultant or a writer? What are you waiting for? I've got to get it perfect. No, you don't. You just have to get it out. If you're somebody who presents and speaking, what are you waiting for? I talk to a lot of people who want to start businesses, who want to start moving forward, but they've got to have all these things lined up and be perfect. Not going to happen. How about this one? Are you waiting for the money to be in place? Are you waiting for it all to be, the money to be completely in place so that you can get started? You know what? By the time that's happened, somebody may have taken your big idea. Somebody else may have gotten in. How much opportunity have you lost? Look, when I'm talking to you about finances and money, I'm talking to you about investing in yourself. It's something I had to completely change my thinking on. When you invest in yourself, there's a return on investment that will come back. The mentality of not investing in yourself and spending your money and thinking of it as an expense rather than an investment is poor thinking, and it's part of all this perfectionism. I have to have all my ducks in a row before I move forward. And that's just wrong, because what's going to happen is you're going to never move forward. You're never going to advance, because perfect just doesn't happen. It really doesn't. Be happy with the best you can be and constantly work at trying to be better through the improvement of yourself, by investing in yourself, by getting coaching, by getting mentoring, by attending professional development programs and workshops and things that are part of your business, part of your industry, making you better. I see we have several people out here watching. Thank you again. I have one question. Dave's got a question. He had it in before I even got started. Dave, I am going to get to it. So I'm going to ask others, though, this is the time to question or comment. If you've got a question about anything I said, now's the time to ask. If you've got a comment, maybe you want to be really vulnerable and talk about a time where you wanted everything to be perfect. You know, I know that when I first started my business, I moved forward boldly, but there were some things that I kind of thought needed to be perfect, specifically the website. Probably could have had the website up quicker. And that's why I'm so familiar with that, that I could have had it up much more quickly if I put something up that was good enough for the start as I got things better. What about you? What are some of the areas that you find yourself trying to achieve perfectionism in that you know is actually holding you back? If you're willing to share, we'll take it right now. So let me, while you're thinking about that, let me answer Dave's question that he must have put in when he signed up. Can you think of a time in your business when you realized or believed, I've made it? I don't think everybody can see this, so I'll repeat the question. Can you think of a time in your business when you realized or believed, I've made it? Well, Dave, that's a really good question. And, you know, I've had several different businesses. And so if I take a look at this current one that is now 10 years in the making, I would say probably I came to that realization after I crossed the 5-year mark. It wasn't really about income. It wasn't really about what people thought of my value or what I've accumulated for intellectual property. It was more of a time thing that I know that when you hit 5 years, you're on your way. Nothing, you know, bad things can still happen, but you're on your way. But that was wrong thinking. That was me, but it was wrong thinking. You should believe that you've made it when you are developing and creating things in your career. Let's just say you are an expert in something, whether it's an expert in professional services, advice that you give. Maybe you're a manufacturer or a retailer or something. You invent, you give speeches, whatever it is. When you know that you are the very best at what you do, and you truly believe that you're the best, that you're really, you are a thought leader. And you might be thinking, Dan, you know, the best, really? Yes, the best. Why can't you be the best? Too many of you don't think big enough. When you believe that you offer the best value for the people in your target market audience, then you've arrived. For me, I was using just a number, and that wasn't right. Today, I believe I've arrived or I've made it because people are using my advice. They're hiring me for my smarts. I am providing excellent value, excellent return on investment, and people are seeking me out. That's when I believe you should believe that. But the first sale is to yourself. It always is. And so once you believe that, that's where you have to move forward. Dave Clark, I hope that answered you. I wonder if everybody out there is a Dave. I've got Dave Gardner here. Dave, thanks for your next comment or question. Let me think. I've never thought I've made it. I recognize milestone accomplishments. I've made it means I've reached a destination. It's about the journey. Dave, thank you very much. It's a great point. You may remember a few of these ago, we talked about no finish lines. And I talked to you about the no finish lines because there really is no end. There's no destination. It's a journey. Dave, that's a great point. Thanks for bringing that up. I recognized a milestone when I'd hit that 5 years, and I guess probably recognizing another milestone when I hit 10. I still believe it's a mindset. Not so much about having made it, but really truly believing. And I know Dave Gardner is in this mindset because of the work that he does, the tremendous work that he does down in the Bay Area for his clients all over the place. When you truly believe that your value as a thought leader, as a consultant, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, when you believe the value that you're creating is improving the condition of others, and you believe that first and foremost, you've made it. because too many people fall short in that mindset. So Dave, I think I'll tweak yours a little bit with all due respect. There is a demarcation, there's a destination, a finish line in your head that's maybe not a finish line, but it's a line of demarcation when you cross over and you truly believe, without even having to talk yourself into it, that you are really good at what you do. And this comes into mindset. And by the way, it parallels perfectly with what we're talking about. Because once you've hit that mindset, it doesn't have to be perfect anymore. You know that you're going to do the best you can, and your best is good enough. Your best is good enough for everybody. You know, one of the things that my mentor and Dave Gardner's mentor, Alan Weiss, has talked about, he says there's typos in books. Every book has typos. You can be as precise and have it proofread and edited over and over again, but every book is going to have a few typos. Who cares? What about the other 70,000 words in the book? Don't worry about that. There's going to be mistakes. But in the end, have you been successful in conveying your value to somebody else? So I think we can look at it that way. The I've made it is really a mindset of what kind of value that you believe you give to other people. So Dave, I hope that answered your question. The other Dave, I think maybe I just tweaked yours a little bit, and I hope that was okay. Other questions? I see we have a few people out there, like I said, and we've already gotten 2 Daves in. I'm wondering if there's somebody out there that's not a Dave that's willing to participate. Maybe we'll have a Jack out there somewhere, right, Jack? So anyway, I've been talking now about 15, 16 minutes, and so I'm gonna encapsulate and summarize this again, give you one last chance, and then we'll let you go on your way. You don't have to be perfect. It's about success, not perfection. And I've started to use the word more often that I really believe is important. It's about significance and significant value. How are you helping somebody else to improve? It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be good enough that it's your best effort and somebody else is gaining value from it. We gave a program last week. We were late. We had some technical difficulties. People understood. We didn't get mad. We just kind of kept on moving on, and it worked out. And even when things don't work out, you've tried it. If you failed, you dust yourself off and you move on again. Because as I put into my extra points today, for the most part, we're not all working on life and death matters. We're not brain surgeons, with apologies to brain surgeons who might be watching. This is not life and death issues that we're dealing with. We're dealing with trying to get out good information, good products, good services to help others. And as there's goofs and missteps along the way, that's okay. You have to have enough confidence in yourself, which is when you realize that you're really great at what you do. That first sale is for yourself, is to yourself. So there it is. Anybody else, this is your last shot to join the Daves and ask a question or make a comment. I'll give you just about another minute as I tell you that I'll be back again next Monday, noon Pacific time. We'll do this again. You can check out the entire playlist. I think I'm up to somewhere around 40-something of these now at this point. Go back into danweedin.tv, look for the playlist of Weedin Unleashed, and you'll see all of these. You can find information about me on my website, which is being updated, by the way, www.danweedin.com. You can follow me on my blog at weedin360.com. And of course, I'd like to hear from you in any of the social media. Twitter is at Dan Weedin. I've got LinkedIn, Facebook. Seems that I'm ubiquitous all over. But thank you. I don't see any more questions or comments. So with that, I will once again, Captain Jack and I will once again thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to having you join us again next week on Weedin Unleashed. Until then, ciao.